Hey y'all, so a couple of things. Thank you guys so much for all of your support and just like your comments and everything on my latest content. It's really nice to kind of like ease back into YouTube and just have it go so well like this. So I really do appreciate you guys. It felt great sharing my labor and delivery story because I was wanting to talk about that like literally like ASAP, but of course I wanted to give myself time to like heal and like, feel better. And so like as I'm just like, feeling good and just like, doing my thing, I am just ecstatic to like honestly make content. I'm starting to kind of fit filming into my routine. I don't have a set uploading schedule at all yet. I might not ever. I used to kinda, because I know I used to upload twice a day sometimes. And I know sometimes I used to upload at least once a day. I don't know if I'll be doing that because I'm not gonna like stress myself with YouTube, right? But I am here. I am back. So I have a presence. Okay. Also, I finally redid my Amazon storefront, so I made it mommy and baby friendly. If you guys want to go and check it out, I still have other little things or whatever. So, and I will be reviewing products and like letting you guys know like what I think about some of those products, like some of the favorite items that I use for my baby, some of the favorite things that I use as a mommy, and definitely during postpartum. We're gonna have a lot of postpartum talk on this channel because I do think that one of the reasons why I feel so good is not only because I've allowed myself that rest and that self-care and that balance in between, but just like, girl, like literally investing into just like healing products, okay? Because you will need them, okay? It's an experience. But yeah, I wanted to make this video. And so this is gonna cap off of my last one, the labor and delivery story, because I ended that video talking about just trying to encourage women, all women who deal with, fertility issues, and maybe you want kids one day. And I know, like, trust, like I know how traumatic it is and how disheartening it is to be diagnosed with something wrong with your fertility, like fibroids. I can only imagine if it's something like PCOS or what's the other one? Endometriosis, and there's just so many others. I can understand how traumatic that is if you're diagnosed with that early on in your 20s, when we're supposed to be not only establishing our lives, but like living our lives, maybe dating and trying to plan for the future. And sometimes it can be very discouraging. So this video is just going to be, once again, very just raw. And I want to talk to you guys and I want to give you guys my perspective. And this is also like a form of self-reflection, because now that I have my child and now that I am settling down, I want to live a more settled down life. Like, girl, I've been the party girl, I've been the hot girl. Well, I'm still a hot girl, just a hot mom now, okay? But I've been there, done that, man. I want to settle down. I want to live for myself and my family, and I want to be as present as I can be for my family, for my child, and possibly even for future children. And I just want to be that mom. And I'm just going to go 100% honest. I want to be the mom I never had. And that's always been a goal of mine. And if you guys know my story, then you understand where I'm coming from. Hence, this is also a part of the reason why I really didn't want a C-section, even though I know those things really aren't in my control. But it really, coming into motherhood, it's meant everything to me to be everything opposite that my mom is and was. Take that for what it is. I don't mean any disrespect, but I just know the things that I endured that left permanent scars that I took and used as lessons over time, right? And so that paired with, fertility issues, I'm gonna be honest, and it hurts to admit this because it's like seeing how life worked out now, like everything just worked out so smoothly. It skewed my vision. I put way entirely too much pressure on myself at way too young of an age when it came to dating and family. I was in a relationship when I was diagnosed with fibroids, and I remember literally after my diagnosis and, after, because I had to do that invasive ultrasound that I hate, where they like inflate your uterus with like with saline to get the images. That sucks. Okay, that was a very, very painful thing. But I remember coming back healing from that, and then immediately talking to that partner about trying. All because I felt this urge and this rush. And what's crazy is I was trying in that relationship and I never got pregnant. But it's like seeing how that relationship ended. I am so grateful. I am so grateful. No shade, no tea, because me and that person, we are friends and we're cool. And I wish them no malice. But you know how it is, right? Like no shade, no tea, whatever. And then of course you guys have seen me in relationships, and you guys have seen the downfall of those relationships. And I am going to be honest, there's not one relationship, especially after being diagnosed with fibroids, where I didn't bring up me having fibroids, me wanting kids, and me trying to figure it out like right then and there. And to be honest, I regret doing that, because even though, you know, I was in a relationship and I, you know, had partners or whatever, it does put, it puts an unfair, and I'm gonna say an unhealthy amount of pressure on your partner. You can be in love, guys, I don't think that guys be out here out to get you. You know what I'm saying? Like, depending on how things go. But like, when it comes to having children and family planning, I don't think that men, first off, have the mind of I'm gonna screw you over. I don't think that that's the tea. But I also think that if you do have someone who loves and cares about you, and like it's that kind of looming pressure to want to family plan and have children way too early when you're still like maybe 1 year in or so, it kind of puts things in the back of that guy's head, like, oh, what if I'm not this? Like, it puts the same amount of pressure that I'm going through on them. And that can make them, men are people too. They have insecurities and things like that. Like, that can make them overthink. And then next thing you know, you might be bumping heads, you might clash, right? Like, and for that, I really am sorry to all past partners that I did that to, not knowing the pressure was putting you guys under. I wish everybody the best. This is not like a, let's mend the bridge. I got a whole family now, child, please. I wish you peace, wish me peace. But I reflect on that, and it's like, I just cannot stand how I allowed my fear and my suffering with fibroids to like dictate my life. And that was so unfair to myself. I felt this pressure, and to be honest, like when I was diagnosed with fibroids and I was navigating it and I knew I always wanted a family, it was always like one of the main things on my mind at all times. And unfortunately, you guys probably saw here on my channel, you guys saw me struggle with that. It downed my self-esteem. It did. And y'all know I'm a confident girly. Like, I just be out here, right? Like, but it was one of those things that I was very sensitive about. And it was one of those things that like, it for a while made me feel less than. And oh my God, like even when I was single and dating, because in the 2020, like when things opened back up in 2020, I did date, like, here and there. So like I went on a few dates, or whatever. And I think I talked to like my members about this date, like if this is going to sound familiar to you guys, but like I went on this one date and I remember mentioning how I wanted, children in the future or da-da-da. And like the guy was like, oh yeah, I also want kids in the future. That's great. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da. And I'm like, but I have fibroids though, so I might not be able to deliver naturally and da-da-da. And the guy got up from the table, which that's his, preference, c'est la vie. But, when you're already feeling down about yourself and you're having those kinds of experiences, it almost feeds that negative reinforcement that like, oh, see, this is how hard it is to find a partner. And then it's like the negative self-talk happens. And it's like this whole thing. And I'm in my 20s, mind you. Well, 2020, I had just turned 30, but like, you know, I'm a young woman, mind you. Like, and I'm 34, I still feel young, right? So I can't stand that I robbed myself like that. And I don't want any of you to do that. I know that when I've spoken about like my fertility issues and stuff like that on my channel before, I've had several of you talk about your own fertility issues, how it's affected your self-esteem, how you all maybe want a family one day. Some of you have also made peace with the fact that maybe you might not ever have kids, and that's okay. And that's your right as well. Like, you know, c'est la vie. But I don't want anyone to stay in that negative place at all, ever. It's not worth it, especially if you out here young and hot. And I know the free spirits are out here looking good. Okay, I got a pretty little community. All right, I've seen a lot of y'all, and y'all are bad. Okay, all right, bad bitches attract bad bitches. All right, but don't. It's so like. Things will happen for you as they are meant to. And sometimes we can't rush it, force it, make it, all of that. Sometimes all you have to really do is wait. And I know that sounds like whatever, but when you finally stop, it's like literally like the law of attraction. Like when you finally stop trying to pull something towards you and trying to control the force and like, you know, will your way out here in this world, when you let go of that, when you're just like, okay, well, you know, I want kids one day, or, you know, I hope my fibroids can be okay one day, and all of this, like, and then you just let that go, things will happen as they should. And also, that's when you start to notice life opening up for you. That's when life opened up for me. I know when I moved back home, my mindset was different. All I ever wanted was just dive in and just be with the homies, girl, and live my damn Chicago ass life, girl. I am a Chicago girly, all right? Learned my lesson, been there, done that. Alrighty. I ain't leaving home ever. Only for vacation, but not even that long. Okay, it's like the nursery, girl. I hate it. But seriously, like once I, you know, finally got grounded and came back to myself and just like, you know, dived in with like my loved ones and everything like that, and just got reacquainted with, you know, my life here in the city and just going out and stuff. I was more focused on just like, you know, going out, hanging out, doing my thing, vibing, and just getting back to self. And it was so great. And then it's like, bam, now I'm pregnant. But it's like, not once did I have the stress of like the fibroids, right? Like, yes, I did talk to my sweetie about my fertility issues, but like he's also been my friend. So that's like a different level. I don't have to go through the whole like, you know, handbook with him of like the ins and outs, and like, he already saw me through a lot of those times anyway, just as a friend. So, and that was also comforting, but I just like let that go. And then yes, during my pregnancy, I did have moments where it was scary because when I was first getting checked out and all that, and especially during my ultrasounds, I was so like paranoid about the fibroids. And then girl, on top of like not eating and like not being able to keep food down, like, oh my God, it was definitely an ordeal. But I remember even hearing like, okay, yeah, either they can grow and you might have some complications, or they're going to move out the way, or they can even shrink. So I'm out here watching for like all of those things at once, right? Like I'm out here like, okay, what's the tea? What's the tea? What's the tea? Right? And literally, like you see on every ultrasound, because yeah, they pick up on the fibroids or whatever, but I saw them like move further and further away as my baby grew. So my baby's here and my fibroids just went more to like the sides, and it didn't cause even that much discomfort. Like honestly, mainly during my pregnancy, especially once I was able to keep food down, girl, I was just sleepy. That's why y'all didn't hear from me like that, girl. I was asleep. It really felt like I slept a lot of months away. Like I'm happy I was awake from my baby shower. Like I'm happy I was able to be awake for that, because girl, the sleepiness, which sometimes I do miss that sleep. I miss pregnancy sleep. I do. I really do. I was just out of it. But like, even as I was resting, and even with the slight like cramps and the lower back pains here and there, it wasn't anything that was too crazy. I still kept active. I still, stayed on top of my routines. I was still on top of everything, right? And it was really a relief to see my fibroids move up the way. And now that I'm having some of my postpartum appointments, they have shrunk back down, and some of them are smaller than even what they were from like in the beginning of my pregnancy or whatever, right? Like when I was like early pregnant. And it looks like they might continue to shrink. As of right now, there's no need for me to be worried about getting pregnant again in the future. I'm healing fine. No hemorrhaging, no nothing like that. Just healthy. Yes, I do take care of myself, but I also realize honestly what a blessing this is, and I'm just eternally grateful. And I'm exactly where I need to be right now in this moment as I get ready to aim my life towards settling down and just trying to be the best mama I can be and navigate my way through life as a new parent and a family woman. Like, I'm here for it. And even though I regret just dwelling in my 20s about fertility issues and all that stuff, like the fact that I was still able to take those lessons and still use it as a positive, I'm fortunate. And I want all of you to understand that just because you are diagnosed with these fertility issues, it's not a doomsday sentence. Take care of the best of you, put you first, do the best you can for you, and everything will follow suit. And one day, you'll be the best mama you can be, or the best family woman you can be, or the best, some of you guys are made peace with like having no kids, just the best girl, period. Don't beat yourselves up. It's not worth the time. There's literally so many better things that you can do with your life. And I'm happy I finally stopped beating myself up and love myself enough to give myself a chance. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.